video is going to help you if you're a successful performer, successful artist, or an aspiring one who just feels sort of burnt out by the industry, by the environments you find yourself in, and are having trouble accessing your creative power and essence, or feel like you've lost it. In this video, I'm going to be explaining why I ran away from Hollywood as a kid. And then I'm going to be getting into some of the energetics underneath the surface when it comes to like the esoteric reasons why Hollywood can be difficult. And then we'll get into a little bit of solution toward the end of the video. My name is Adam. Before we get started, make sure to grab a copy of my brand new ebook, How to Drastically Change the Course of Your Life. This is a transformational blueprint taking you from how to go from like an enough is enough point in your life through the healing process and out the other side as the new version of yourself. I've talked to a lot of artistic people. Many are having a hard time kind of knowing where they go. Like what you know, it's like the old structures of our world are falling apart. The new ones are being built. We're in this very complicated, confusing, like puberty, like transitional space as a species, as a world. It's kind of everyone just breaking out. Their voices are changing. They got pimples everywhere. Their teeth don't fit their mouth. Like we're all just kind of growing into these new versions of self in a new world. And it can be hard to navigate. So I always wanted to be a performer. I was, as a kid, I did theater, I did musical theater, I was a singer-songwriter, I sang and played the syringe. I wanted to become more professional. I wanted to be in Hollywood. I wanted to be in movies. So very early on, I sort of manifested an agent. I was performing, doing rehearsals for a play, and this agent sort of came in and watched some of us, and she took me on. And so I started auditioning for commercials. It was just a commercial agent. And I was, getting a lot of auditions at the time. And finally, I ended up getting this one commercial. I was really excited. I remember, showing up on set the first day, and they treat you really well. They call you the talent. And I really enjoyed the filming process. But something happened. Something happened. This is really a really important story, okay? Something happened shortly after this commercial came out, and I didn't really understand why. I just sort of lost the desire. I just didn't want to go to auditions anymore, and I didn't get it. And it wasn't until my friend, who's super intuitive, saw energetically and vibrationally what happened when I filmed this commercial. Okay? And it's important to understand that every time we're on a screen and people look at us, there's an exchange of energy. Anytime our creative essence is used anywhere, it interacts energetically with other forces, other dimensions, other people's stories. Okay? And so it's very important, if you're an artist and you're a creative, to have some level of awareness of your energy field, your nervous system, and what you're coming into contact with, because we get entangled and entrained with things all the time. Every time you walk out your front door and have a conversation with somebody, your energy kind of links to them. And when you become aware of this, you can unlink. But if you don't, it's like you can still be having thoughts from them or emotions from them coming into your space without even realizing it. This is how it works all over the place with everything. So I was in a commercial, okay, and I'll be telling you what my friend said in a minute, but I was in a commercial where I was a teenager playing a video game, and it was a video game, it was a war game. And so the commercial was about, they would show like different armies kind of fighting, and then cut to like a picture of a map, and a country on the map blowing up and turning red, and these generals like talking back and forth, and every now and then you just see like a keyboard click, or a mouse click in the background. And so everyone, they're fighting, and at one point like this general goes like, "Who is behind all this?" And they cut to a picture of my face as a teenager, and I look right at the camera and I kind of grin, and I take like a sip of a soda, and I go back to playing the video game, causing all this mayhem and all of this war stuff. So when my friend, who's just brilliantly intuitive and just has this gift of sight, this came up in a clearing I was doing with her a little while back, and she was like, that commercial changed the course of your life. And she's like, now you need to know this because it was part of your soul's lesson, so this needed to happen. But what happened was, it wasn't like a super huge commercial, but it was a national commercial, and it was on TV for a number of weeks or months. She's like, what happened was, it was like the military industrial complex that was, you know, at that time and for however many years, decades, and is still operating, was using your energy to push forward their agenda of kind of guiding a whole bunch of young people into the war mentality. And it's not just a mentality, but it's like there's a whole energetic template, and there's sort of dark energies that prey on all of us, you know, when we're not aware. And it hooked me in to these different sort of matrices energetically. And I became like, my energy got harvested in a way. And I didn't know that. I was like a 15-year-old kid. I didn't know about any of this stuff. But what happened was, like, I became, like, my energy became distorted. And so every time after that, I kind of went to audition. I didn't even know why. I just was like, I don't want to go. Like, I don't know. Because some part of me subconsciously sensed what was happening and what I was getting into. And I didn't want to do that. And so we did a very big clearing on this pattern and this entrenchment and entrainment and a disentanglement and, you know, all sorts of stuff that woo-woo shit that we do. It's real. But anyway, so my point here is, if you're an artist, if you're a creative, if you're an actor, if you're a musician, and you've had a hard time sort of getting out there, this could be a big part of why. You may have a very pure desire to be of service to people. You may have a gift that you want to offer through music, through art, through performance, through dance. And this is great. It's great to have, but you may almost be like allergic in various ways to Hollywood or the industry. It's a very narcissistic, very shallow industry. You're constantly being judged based on how you look, how you sound, your age, blah, blah, blah. And some souls just don't really want to be a part of that. So what can you do? Well, there's a couple things. One, you can operate within this system, but you need to have awareness and discernment of what your energy field is entraining and entangling with and what you're getting into. And this just comes down to, like, learning energetic boundaries, learning energetic clearing, learning nervous system regulation. Well, the other thing that you can do is maybe not go so much into that industry and create your own, because that's the other thing that's happening now. Like, all of our systems are crumbling and new systems are being built. And if you're part of the New Earth sort of team and you're here to help with the transition and 3D to 5D shift and all that stuff, then basically what you're here to do is to move a system forward in a particular way. So whatever it is that calls to you, whatever you love to do, whatever you feel a deep passion to do, that's what you're here to do. But you're here to move the world forward. So you might be here to create more heart-centered art, which doesn't necessarily mean we're just going to all be like Hafiz and sit around and write poems about I love you, God, God, I love you, I love nothing but God and God and God. And I love Hafiz. I'm just saying, like, at some point it gets boring just writing songs to God all the time. But you can still have some drama, you can still have some struggle and conflict, but it can be based in a more heart-centered way where there's lessons at the end, and it's not just all about, you know, the energy of revenge or vengeance or murder, or, you know, the stuff that makes it through Hollywood generally. So how are you here, and how can you be here to sort of up-level entertainment, to up-level creativity, to intersperse and mix together spirituality with music, spirituality with art, spirituality, whatever. I mean, it's kind of, spirit comes through artistic endeavor anyway, but we're here now to make it a little bit more conscious, and that's what's happening. It's happening. You see it on, you know, like Instagram. There's lots of spiritual entertainment now, but it's important to kind of clear up some of your past entanglements and traumas with certain systems or groups, like I mentioned with my commercial, because as I've cleared that up, you know, I can feel this stage, I think, being set for me to become an entertainer more, but from a different place and from a different frequency and a different vibration. So anyway, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out in the comment section. If you have anything else you want to mention, please reach out in the comment section. Make sure to get my new book. And I do help artists, creatives, entertainers to kind of release the trauma and negative energetics from their past. So you can check out my website if you want any further information on that. Other than that, I appreciate you very much, everyone who watches my videos, and until next time.